As we explore different methods and techniques on how to manifest who you really are by materializing and understanding how to create things and bring things into fruition, we have to dive deeper into the importance of utilizing sexual energy, sacred sexual energy, to actually support you in creating the things that you want, in creating the lifestyle that you want. Now, it makes sense that two minds are better than one. So definitely two hearts are better than one. Two spirits, two souls are better than one, especially when those souls, when those spirits are actually intertwined, connected, and in union with one another. And ultimately, that's what the idea of lovemaking comes down to, is coming together and expressing ourselves with love from a physical, but also from a very spiritual standpoint. So when we get into really understanding sacred sexual energy and how to cultivate it and how to direct it, we really have to understand that this is beyond simply just the physical experience of sex, of intimacy. This truly goes deeper from a spiritual point of view on how to connect with one another. We are now looking at our bodies as vehicles of expression, expressing your love, your admiration, your understanding, your acceptance of the other person, and they are doing the same with you. You are taking the instant gratification of the physical, right, attributes of the physical pleasure, and you are focusing on vulnerability. And this isn't about vulnerability from, just thinking that that means that you must be weak or you must give up your power to another person. This is just simply about being transparent with that person, being truly yourself with that person, and that person accepting you as you are, right? And there's a safe space where the energy can be cultivated and curated and matures, and it has an environment that allows it to do that at its most optimal, level, right? So when you are vulnerable, being transparent with who you are, and this other person is accepting and receiving that transparency with love and compassion and empathy, and you are both doing that for one another, this creates the most ideal situation, the most ideal environment for you to both generate massive amounts of sexual energy and really find yourself in a space where you are completely in the now, focused in on this exchange with one another. So being in the now is probably the best tip, right, when it comes to how to really cultivate this energy with one another. Not only does it make the energy more intensified, but the actual experience is more pleasurable than anything you can possibly imagine. It all comes down to simply just being in the moment, not worrying about what will happen or what you want to happen during this sexual experience, but just simply focused on what is, and letting whatever happens happen without having any expectation as to what you want to happen. This is the best way to generate the most energy throughout this experience. Now, understand, going back to the statement of recognizing that two are better than one, when we talked before on being with oneself, right, the act of solo lovemaking, we understand that there is a dynamic of acknowledging the masculine and feminine energies within you. Okay. Now you have to recognize where you are, right, in that spectrum. Are you more feminine or are you more masculine? Whatever you are, you also have to acknowledge that the opposite, right, is needed in order to generate that energy. And you can do that within yourself, right? Because just like in yin and yang, you can see the yin aspect is the white part that has the black dot, whereas the yang is the black side that has the white dot. That represents the fact that within one thing that is more dominant, there's still its opposite within that one thing. So within you, you may lean more towards masculine or feminine, but still within you is still the opposite, the masculine or the feminine. So when we talk about the solo lovemaking, we are utilizing that aspect of us. But now when we're talking about the sexual union of two people, you will find that there is within you too this understanding that one is more masculine and one is more feminine, right? And it doesn't have to be these extreme cases of masculinity and femininity within one or the other, but there needs to be an understanding that this is happening. This is part of the attraction. This is why you are attracted to this person, because they represent an aspect of yourself that isn't the same, that is opposite, but still at the same frequency. Okay. And this is why you are attracted to some people and not attracted to others, right? Is because though they may be your opposite, right? In relationship to compatibility of yin and yang, they may not be still on the same frequency as you. So we have to recognize that there is a balance of yin and yang energy, but there's also a balance of energy in itself, frequency, and being in the same space or having the same goals, ideas, morals, but also what we call chemistry is that frequency I'm referring to. Now, when you come together, you are not only having an experience with another person, which is pleasurable, which is beautiful, but now you are taking each one of your energy or the potential of energy that you can generate alone, you are now compounding that. You are now increasing that, right? You are now multiplying the potential that you can do by yourself many times over with one another. And this is why it is so powerful, because when you are together and on the same page, there is so much more that can be done together than done alone. But the important thing is to recognize is you must be and you must practice clear communication. You must be truly in sync with one another. And that can be energetic, but many times you will find that it requires speech, it requires language, it requires conversations, it requires consistently understanding one another, seeking to understand one another, and seeking to also realize that even if you don't see eye to eye on the same things, to recognize that there is possibility in you both getting the thing that is ideal for each other and still creating a space where you are both completely happy and satisfied without feeling like you had to take something away from you or take something away from them in order for the unit to experience harmony. So you have to really believe in the idea of a win-win situation. Don't go into any relationship or any kind of exchange with another thinking that you have to give up something, right? Or they have to give up something. Recognize that the universe is infinite. The universe is abundance. So when you understand that and you're truly living in that reality, even if you have something that you desire and your partner has something they desire, and even though they may seem opposing or opposites, recognize that they still can exist, right? There still can be a solution where both of you are getting exactly what you want. Now, as you go forward into bringing these energies together, your energy and their energy, as you are in the practice of sexuality or experiencing oneself or both of you sexually, recognize that it's important to have a clear intention about what it is that you are wanting to create, what it is that you have decided to create along this journey, right? Being present with one another, and this is where it gets tricky. You're being present with one another, but you are intentionally generating and creating this energy to create something together, right? To create a way of being, to create a lifestyle, to create even a stronger bond or connection. It's easier to focus on the bond or connection between you two when you are having this experience, when you are in practice of this sexual energy or this sexual experience or this sexual exchange. So because you are with one another, right? And you are feeling it and you are in the moment. But it'll over time take practice for you to be able to take that energy, take that experience to create something that you have both aligned with in your mind and in your spirit to create in this physical reality. And it takes a lot of communication and a lot of clarity on how you communicate about what it is that you both want. You know, sometimes you have to get into the details as individuals and then pull that back to make sure that you are both seeing the same exact picture. So that way, when you are in your sexual experience with one another, the intention to create that thing is clear for both of you, which will increase the speed and the actual materialization of the thing. It will make it very clear, transparent. It would actually manifest itself almost exactly as you have intended. Okay? But you need both parties to be on the same page. And it takes vulnerability, it takes transparency, it takes surrender. And I'm not talking about surrender in a way that is submissive to one another, but in a way that allows you to go with the flow of all things that is happening at the moment, that is being experienced, right, between you two. When you do that, you will find that powerful things will happen for you. You will begin to shift as a person. Your consciousness will begin to open up. Your connection with that person will begin to deepen, okay? And that in itself is you onto an amazing journey towards self-discovery and self-realization. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to visit drabundant.com, where you will get access to a free ebook, The Power Within, which will give you a powerful technique on tapping into the divinity within you. Thank you so much. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.